The Walt Disney Company is hungry for any win they can get, and they're willing to go through Bluey to get it. Yes, Disney Experiences just announced that they're getting Bluey in the theme parks, or at least that's what they want you to think. Let's talk about some of the details that they've left out and some of the details that they've put in, and why Ludo Studios, the company that is in charge of Bluey, is saying things that are a little different than what Disney is saying here on That Park Place. Bluey is finally coming to quote-unquote Disney Experiences, which is both very specific and very vague at the same time. Let's talk about that. Okay, so Bluey goes full Disney, movie in the works, plus theme park and cruise line adventures. I would reverse this. I would say Bluey goes full Disney, cruise line in the works, movie, and then theme parks, because I think that's the order in which they're doing this. Because the way that Ludo Studios announces it, they're talking about the cruise line thing. They're talking about this being on boats. By the way, don't tell my kids, but one of them is getting a unicorn puppet for Christmas. So
that's great.
In a landmark move that expands the beloved Blue Heelers world, Disney and BBC Studios have announced a comprehensive agreement to bring the internationally acclaimed animated series Bluey to the big screen, as well as to Disney's theme parks and cruise ships. They've got a lot more of them now. The deal not only sets the stage for a highly anticipated feature film debut, but also paves the way for Bluey and her family to interact with fans around the globe directly. Under the terms of the new partnership, a Bluey feature film produced by the Walt Disney Company and BBC Studios will arrive in theaters in 2027. Series creator Joe Brumm, that's the most important name in all of this, who will write and direct, said the movie will continue the adventures of Bluey, a lovable, inexhaustible blue heeler dog who lives with her mom and dad and her sister Bingo. Production will draw on the same qualities that have endeared the show to countless viewers since it first aired. Let's see here. And the sign, if you are a fan of Bluey, is essential viewing. It's great. Disney is actually in charge of the production from a distribution side, which is new for Bluey, because it was that Ludo Studios over there in Brisbane, Australia, was in charge of making this, and the international agreement was, the local agreement was with ABC, the Australian broadcasting company, no relation to Disney whatsoever, would then have an agreement with the BBC. BBC Studios held the international rights, and way back in 2019, Disney signed an agreement with them to say, yeah, we'll take this, whatever this Bluey show is. Do you want the theme park rights? No, we don't care at all. We don't care what this is. We just want something to fill the schedule on Disney Junior. And then they found out what Bluey was, and they realized they should have gotten those merchandising and theme park rights. So if you follow this channel much, you know that Bluey is also the biggest show on Disney Plus. It accounted for the last time that we had any metrics on Bluey. It accounted for 1/3 of all television streaming, which is most of the streaming on Disney Plus. So perhaps 30% of all of Disney Plus is Bluey, and Disney doesn't own it and doesn't have a hand in the production. There was also a time not that long ago when Fort Wilderness was going to do a Bluey scavenger hunt, and then that disappeared very quickly, probably because Disney did not have the theme park rights to do that. So someone from Ludo Studios or BBC said, hey, Disney, what are you doing here? You don't have the rights. Where is that clip?
He doesn't have the rights.
Quite.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So now we have a situation where Disney has this movie, and if you're going to release a children's movie, you want Disney to be your distributor because it will get as many eyeballs as it can possibly get. This probably means that Bluey, the movie, is going to be exclusive to Disney Plus. But Vash, I think you've probably got the actual announcement over here. There it is.
I do.
Do you want to read the Ludo Studios part of it?
Yes.
You had it on screen just there a second ago. Go ahead. Do your thing.
This from the Walt Disney Company. This was the official release for all this information. Bluey to join Disney Experiences at its U.S. theme parks and cruise line beginning in 2025. If we scroll all the way down right here, we have the Ludo Studio and their comments. It's a lovely day to go boat riding, and we're incredibly excited that Bluey and Bingo will be sailing on Disney cruises, bringing Bluey's magic to families on the high seas. Nikki
Right
Sheard, the CEO of BBC Studios Brands and Licensing, said the Healers' family debut at Disney theme parks and cruises really is the icing on the cake for what has been an exceptional year for Bluey. We are committed to creating the very best in-class experiences for our fans. Can't wait to open the doors to families next year.
Right. So that statement from Ludo Studios says to me that Ludo Studios is excited to have Bluey on cruise ships. I think from their perspective, that's probably the closest to an honest statement here.
Yes.
And then BBC Studios and Disney are like, no, we want you to think that Disney is in our theme parks now.
See, this is really weird. It's really rushed. You can tell that there's not really a cohesive vision for this. Like you brilliantly point out, Jonas, Ludo's talking about cruises, and they do make a big to-do about cruise lines in this whole release here. Beginning in January 2025, onboard Disney Cruise Line voyages originating from Australia and New Zealand, families can interact with Bluey and her sister Bingo like never before, from special meet and greets. That's probably going to be what they're going to do here, to an interactive and clue-filled game that ends at a dance party featuring Bluey's signature moves. Families in the region can embark on a magical holiday with their favorite Blue healer. Now, this is very interesting to have this paragraph here, because in the preceding paragraph, it says Disney Experiences today announced that Bluey, the beloved Emmy-winning animated series that has captured hearts worldwide, will join Disneyland Resort in California and Walt Disney World Resort in Florida on land, and Disney Cruise Line at sea. And
right.
I wouldn't
That's
have done
so
that.
specific, though. The Disney Cruise Line thing, if it originates in Australia and New Zealand, which is not where most Disney Cruise Lines originate, if you're in Orlando, Florida, just pointing that out, they're very far from each other. They're saying that, oh, well, they'll be on the boats if you are originating from New Zealand and Australia. Do they even have New Zealand representation on Bluey? I don't know. They might have slipped a couple of Kiwi accents in there that I'm not aware of. But to me, this sounds like Disney is trying to make a much bigger headline. I mean, it is a big headline that Bluey is actually doing anything with Disney Experiences. But I think they're using that Experiences name to try to confuse what's going on here.
Right. Yeah. Now, they're definitely trying to, they're doing some creative publicity here for sure, because this is all just all over the place, in my view.
Yep. Karen, Aldo, Monkey, do you have any thoughts on this?
Oh, does this have to do with the new ship that they're going to have based in Asia?
That is a very good question. Is that one out of Singapore, Vash?
Yeah, Singapore, it's gonna be on the newer ships, I think I read.
So yeah, I wonder
the one Bob Chapek bought.
That's right. Bob Chapek, he bought that thing for a song. And they were happy to have him do that. By the way, the expansion of cruise ships is one of the few things that they're admitting that capital expenditures are going towards at Disney right now. That CapEx spend, and I've gotten to speak to people from some other channels that not only Valiant Renegade, but some other channels that cover the capital expenditures for Disney Experiences, and those cruise lines are pretty much the only thing that they are actively expanding in 2025. So.
Well, and that's the thing too. They're very aggressive with their expansion of cruise ships. There was a rumor that was posted yesterday. Let me see if I can go ahead and bring it up on screen, which might suggest why they're being so aggressive with their expansion of the cruise line business. This by Universal Apex. I can't necessarily speak to the validity of this outlet, but saying that rumor that Disney Magic and Wonder will be retiring in 2034. Wow. The reason I bring this up right now is because I think I've told this to Jonas, and I've said this on That Park Place for a little while now. The original ships are actually past their expiration date now. They have been refurbished a number of times, but these things do have a lifespan. And so in order to maintain their output in terms of the revenue from this segment, they have to fill in whatever they end up doing with these cruise ships past their expiration date. So it's not. I'm not really surprised to hear that these ships might be retiring, because it's a story I've been tracking for a little while now.
Wow, that would be sad. The Magic and the Wonder are really they're smaller ships, but they're, at least the Magic has some charm that the Wish and the Treasure, from at least the Wish that I was on, don't capture.
Yeah.
They're very big. They're kind of like the Hilton of Disney Cruise Line, and yeah, they have a little charm, but not as much as the Magic. And about Bluey, the Disney brand is already so broad and so big that I guess this makes sense, but I don't know. Like for me, this is the same as putting John Legumazamo's or whatever his last name is, Sid from Ice Age, walking around in the parks or having Homer
Yeah.
Simpson.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Which for people who don't know who Sid is, John Leguizamo is the voice of Sid, who is the sloth from the Ice Age films. The Ice Age films were made by Blue Sky Studios, nothing to do with the social media platform. Blue Sky was under Fox, and when Disney bought Fox, they liquidated that studio. So they are fine to use all the intellectual property from Blue Sky Studios, but they've disrespected Blue Sky by liquidating all of them. I think some of those people were probably given first projects to work on. The thing that happens there in situations like that is sometimes Disney will give one contract to those people in order to say that they're not firing them, and then let them go at the end of that first contract. It's something you have to look for if you're an animation studio that happens to find themselves consolidated under Disney. So I think that this is a little bit of trickery on Disney's part. It's fine. It's fine. There's some honesty in there, but you wouldn't find the honesty from Disney, which is why maybe people come to outlets like that Park Place to help to shows to have some media literacy on where the lies can be when you start to get a little too specific in parts and a little too vague in others.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.